We've got the latest on that as well, because Yannick Carrasco has been very disappointed with this whole situation and the goalkeeper leaving Belgium early amid a row over the captain's armband. He said, "We're disappointed by his reaction. In the end, he is part of the team. He is one of the three captains. An armband is just a detail. You have to show that you're a leader and a captain with your personality. He chose to leave. Whether he had injury problems or not, we don't know. But one of the reasons for his departure was also the armband." Courtois has taken to his own website to defend himself, saying he's a little bit surprised to see this coming out about him. And you're smiling there, Jan.
Yeah, I do, because when I read this story and when I heard about that, I was a bit surprised by, for me, Courtois always, also in my job as an interviewer, he always comes around as a very nice guy, a man of the team and everything. So, and as you were saying, Courtois got another option of this. They have a new coach in Tedesco who is doing for them. They're in a group with Austria and Sweden. They're doing well there and everything, but that was quite tough from his teammates. So if we take everything half of it away, that is not what you need. And Belgium is in a transition now of the old guard. There is a new generation coming in. But I think that, seeing that from our position, now it's a bit out of character of Courtois. Of course, when you are one of the captains, you have another responsibility. But at the end of the day, you have a responsibility as a teammate. And if a teammate reacted on this one, they were together now for at least a week, 10 days, being in the bubble there. And this is a quite strong reaction. This is not a good thing for Courtois to have on his resume.
It's in this kind of scenario where you really hope as a coach that when you have a player who is showing such a petulant side to his personality, and I agree with Jan, this seems kind of out of context for him, but by all accounts it's true. As a coach, you're hoping you have some good backups. And I, not off the top of my head, don't know what the Belgian backup situation is. All I know is Thibaut Courtois, you could argue, is the best goalkeeper in the world and has been for the last 18 months or so. But if you can put that to the side and you have some good backups, that's when you just say, listen, you want to go and sit on the side? You want to take yourself off home? Take yourself off home. I'll manage without you for whatever time it is. Go and have a little think about it. Now, that's a risk. That is a risk, particularly in European qualifiers and World Cup qualifiers. But what do you do as a coach in that scenario? What do? You go down on one knee and beg for him to come back? Because you're leaving yourself wide open across the board with the whole squad. And so and particularly a new coach, he's put a new coach in a very, very difficult position, particularly being one of the main men in this Belgian side. Particularly being a guy who, as I mentioned, is such a fantastic goalkeeper. But what do? You have to make an example, I think, and say, listen, you want to take yourself home? You can stay at home. We'll cope.
So let's give the Goalkeepers Union side of things, because as I mentioned, he took to his personal website and he said he was surprised to see the partial and subjective account of a private conversation. Can you back a fellow keeper here, Shaka?
Not on this. I'll be certain on that. Not on this at all. Okay. Listen, after Tedesco said what he did, and then Courtois responded, right? You're wondering, well, I wonder where the benefit of the doubt really lies. I think most people felt it was Tedesco, but Courtois had a say, or he was injured, and the doctors kind of spoke to each other. But then this statement from Yannick Carrasco. And Jan's absolutely right. This is a really strong statement. I thought Carrasco chose his words really well. But if you put it into context, that players don't speak out against teammates in any capacity. So for Carrasco to come out and say what he did, you know straight away that something is very wrong. So once you start reading in between the lines of that statement, you see, and he starts by speaking of his disappointment around Courtois. everything about this just felt wrong. It's disappointing on so many levels. To Craig's point, if I'm Tedesco, if I'm the Belgian manager, I don't have Courtois back. And if that's the hill I die on, then so be it. But I'm not going to have somebody who walks out of camp, who leaves the rest of the players because he doesn't get the armband. That's not someone you can rely on in the trenches. Best goalkeeper in the world or not, that's not who you want.
Let's wrap this.
No, I remember Andy Gorham walking out of the Scotland camp. Late Andy Gorham, he's not with us anymore. I remember walking out the Scotland camp in America, actually, before France '98. And the players never felt anything ill towards Andy because Andy was upset because he learned that Jim Leighton was going to be the number one. Jim was going to play against Brazil. He was going to play in all the games. And Andy, he wasn't going to get a game. And whilst it's not right, you can understand the anger and the upset and the frustration that, one of the best goalkeepers around, Andy Gorham, he's not going to play. This is an armband. He's not getting the captaincy for one game.
Yeah.
That's a different level of petulance.